landlords need to be stopped. Like, it's not a joke anymore. Someone needs to stop them.
How are people affording life right now?
Genuinely worry about when our kids get older and how much the cost of living will be insane. Y'all, I remember when I was a little girl, my big mom, she was cooking and she had forgot.
What's up, Financial Hawks? It's your boy Eric, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over cost of living. This is, I think, number 2 or 3 in the series of just the craziness going on with not only like the increase of prices of everything, but just how people are actually feeling, how much they're actually making a month, how they're, spending their money this way, that way. It's just like the struggles that comes with that. It's almost Christmas time, and people are getting laid off at this time, which is crazy. You got PepsiCo, I think, dropping off one of their factories and laying out people without like telling anybody, which is wild right there. But you also got people who are able to currently have a job that may not be paying as much, or they may have been downgraded, and people who lost their job here had to get a lower paying job, and they're really getting affected by this economy. And again, I've been hoping every single month there's gonna be some type of improvement, but it's November, we're still not seeing anything yet. So again, over in 2025, we can start seeing some slow improvements. I've been saying that for a minute now, but yeah, let's go ahead and start on this first video. She's talking about living on $1,200 a month, not every 2 weeks, a month. So what? That's $300 a week, $600 every 2 weeks, and this is $1,200 a month. I don't know if this is before or after taxes, because if this is before taxes, you're taking out like another $200-300, making $900 that month. And that's after taxes, then I guess obviously she's making a little bit more than that, but maybe about $1,500-1,600 a month. But then with the taxes, $1,200. But still, that's crazy. I want to see her current lifestyle on this and seeing if maybe she needs to downgrade some things, or maybe she is as much downgraded as she can be and still not able to profit with this $1,200, which is, again, so low. But let's go ahead and start this video, and let's go.
Living on $1,200 a month should be outlawed. Like, the very fact that there are people in America in 2024 that's living on $1,200 a month, and that's all that they is absolutely insane to me. But it's only one way they're doing it, and I'm gonna tell you about how. The income that people are receiving for $1,200 a month is Social Security. And according to this article, they're saying that Social Security is expected to run out in 2035. Now, while that sounds like a long time away, I remember when I was a kid, and I used to see on the news, because my grandma would always watch the news. I remember they would be on TV, and like the Republicans would be like, you guys better stop your spending and be more responsible, talking to like Congress. And they were like, you're mortgaging our kids' future. And I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, well, the future is now. I'm the kid, clearly. But the people that are receiving Social Security that's only getting $1,200 a month are managing to live because of one reason. Now, I hate to state the obvious, but y'all, they're homeowners. And I know it's really cool right now to get on the internet and talk about, oh, well, it'll never be your house if you gotta have property taxes and you gotta pay insurance. It's ridiculous. Well, baby, let me tell you something. If I was making $1,200 a month, I would definitely be more comfortable spending $300 a month on property taxes than $2,000 or more on principal, interest, taxes, and insurance if I buy a house late in life and or rent. So America was built on this promise that if you work for so many years, you were supposed to end up getting 3 things when you retire: pension, 401k, and Social Security. Well, pension ain't really a thing no more. 401k is kind of hit or miss now. So then that leaves Social Security, which goes back to the $1,200 a month that I was talking about. Now, I don't know if y'all know how much Social Security is, but that's really seriously a real number. It's hardly ever $2,000 a month. But the other part of that was, one, you're supposed to have a paid off house. So that was going to drastically reduce your expenses. And the other part that people still don't talk about is the fact that you were supposed to be sharing all of these bills and debt with a spouse. Because when your spouse dies, you get their Social Security. So anyway, I say all of that to say, what is your plan? And when I say what is your plan, I say so very seriously, because I get it. When you 25, 30, you might not see it. But when you hit 41 and you don't own no house, 51, you don't own no house, 61, and you don't own a house. Like, how are you going to seriously afford your life if you can't even scrape up money for a down payment?
Oof. Nothing but facts on that. I like that a lot. Clap, clap, clap on that. But yeah, back when I used to work at Towers Watson, I remember dealing with people who who were really, 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 really struggling. Like talking with them like throughout like on the phone because we just sell medical insurance and like if dental insurance as well. I would license for that and license for this eye insurance. You know, you help you out with glasses or whatnot. But primarily it was like medical stuff. Getting them like on the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan of Oregon, for example, or man, so many different plans. So many different plans I had to like study and get licensing for. But anyway, I do remember dealing with, and like again, this was like years ago. This is not like right now. I can imagine if I went back to that company now and start talking with these older people who were 65, 75, you know, plus. I can just imagine how crazy it is now because this was when I graduated from college that same year. Yeah, that was when I think I was working there, started around 2015. Yeah, I want to say about 2015. Yeah, 2015, 2016. And I was working there for about 2 or 3 years. But anyway, yeah, during that time period, man, it was so many people struggling. So many people on the phone saying, hey, I can't afford this. I can't afford this. I can't afford this. Sometimes, you know, when they were dealing with issues like this, we couldn't get them a PPO plan, but we were to find like good HMO plans that didn't cost anything really at all. And they were lucked out, or maybe they didn't luck out on that and they still had to pay a lot of money, but they got benefits from their company. Their company was still able to pay for their, you know, medical expenses or whatnot for their, you know, medical plan through us. So they had at least something there, but man, the amount of people I saw crying, talking about, again, Social Security, not having money for this, not having money for that. It's crazy. It was crazy back then. So I can just imagine right now how, you know, crazy it is for like older people. $1,200 again a month. If you don't really have that many bills, is different. And she made a good point about that. Like, yeah, they were hoping by this time you already have a house. And a lot of people I was talking to, they did at least have a house, but they were still struggling because they had other like medical conditions and things that they had to pay towards. So yeah, they didn't have a house. They would have been even more messed up. They were already crying to me, you know, for this current situation they're in. Now have them renting a place. I had a couple people I remember renting still. But I feel like most of the people had a home. I don't know if it was always paid out or not. That's the thing. But I remember maybe about 2 people vividly saying they had to rent, you know. But oh man, I just can't imagine that right now. You trying to pay a mortgage for $1,500, for example, but you only get $1,200. Where you gonna get the rest of that money for that mortgage, let alone your bills for, you know, your electric, food, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That adds up. So right now is a good time to start thinking about that right now. And if you're older, they can still affect you too. Because also too, back when I used to work at Towers, like a lot of the people there were a whole lot older than me. They were like 60, like in the 50s and 60s, and like they just got laid off. I remember a good friend of mine up there. She was 60. She was 60, and she thought for sure her company is going to have her, like, you know, within like for the next 5 years, so she can retire from them. And they just dropped her just like that. Dropped her and plenty of other people. And a lot of people at that job just got dropped from the companies. They thought, you know, they've been working here 10, 20, 30 years, and the companies just dropped them right there. So like they need to find something quick so they can pay for, you know, for their living, so they don't, you know, don't have to become homeless. And again, this was years ago. Like this is not like, you know, this is 2015. So I can just imagine how crazy it is now. Like, man, I may have to come back to that company, you know, and get back on my licensing and talking with the old people again, so I can share some more stories with you guys. Because again, it was a whole lot struggling for them back then, and it is not getting better. It's getting worse for people. So yeah, if you're able to get a home right now, that is great. If not, you can start working towards that. So at least you can have something paid off. Hopefully you can watch some of the other videos on this channel, find other ways you can make extra money. And that can also help out too. But man, I'll be surprised if Social Security even like a big thing by the time we get older. You know, if you're in your 20s, 30s, by the time you get 65 or 70, yeah, they're probably going to keep increasing that before you can get Social Security. I wonder how much you get then. It is crazy. It is crazy. Let's go ahead and start out this next one here.
Like, our car insurance went up by an extra $150 for literally no fucking... How are you motherfuckers not fucking pissed off at the cost of everything right now? Like, our car insurance went up by an extra $150 for literally no fucking reason, just because everybody else's deductible, supposedly where we live, has gone up, so they tack on an extra $150 for ours. So our car insurance for 3 cars, full coverage, which we've never had an accident, nothing, was almost $400 when it used to be $250. So, and then rent. Oh my fuck. I've been looking around to downsizing because I do not own this house. Okay? I do not own this house. It's a 3-bedroom house out in the middle of nowhere. I love it. I've lived here for years. But it's $2,500 a month. I'm having a 3rd child, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think we want to pay this. There's no fucking way we could buy a house, and everybody knows that. So I've been looking at just downgrading, getting rid of a bunch of shit, just be like, you know what? I wouldn't mind paying less. And then in a couple years when the market gets better, just buy a house, right? Well, I was fucking wrong because a house literally with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, basically shitty as fuck, shitty part of town, $1,500 a month? A month? Or basically the same amount of money that I'm already paying now for something with like less space, or it's in an apartment and you can't have no pets. You got to have 600 credit score, last month's deposit, $400 administrative fee, non-refundable. And we're a family of 4. So we spend about a little over $1,000 a month on fucking food. And I don't buy bougie food. I make my meals. We don't go out to eat every maybe once in a while because I'm pregnant and I'm like, oh my God, I want that so bad. But it's been weeks since we had fast food. Like, what the fuck? Something has got to give. I know for a fact I'm not the only one. And this is fucking bullshit. Like, something needs to fucking change, dude. We can't keep living like this anymore. Fuck.
Yeah. It is wild. It is wild. Again, do you feel empathy? I feel empathy for a lot of these people on these videos talking about, just how hard it is right now. It really is. And on this video, you talked about a lot of good points, but I get the main point for this one I want to talk about is the housing. Because, I remember years ago, maybe about a little after COVID. Yeah, maybe a little after COVID, maybe 2022 or so. It was like, the housing and everything is going to like change. Like everything is high right now, but you just wait for a cycle. Houses price is going to go down, next year. You'll be good. You can buy a house then. And the next year rolls around. Houses are still high, sometimes increasing even more. They're like, okay, well, not right now, but the next year, 2024, houses haven't decreased. They're going to just steadily increase, maybe not as much as they did within like the last 2-3 years, but they have been steadily increasing, staying stagnant at the higher level. They're not decreasing. So yeah, if you're able to get a house right now, this is the time. Yeah, you trying to wait. I don't see that, improving or helping you out anymore because I'm not seeing that going down. Seeing plenty of videos also and agreeing with me on that. Like you're not going to be seeing like a big downpour in the houses that they get super cheap and all of a sudden everybody can afford a house again. So with that being said, I guess the next best thing for you to do is trying to find ways to make more money outside of like video editing and like side gigs like that. You can think about like getting into like other tech roles, for example, when you get free time, start working maybe like towards certain certifications, certain like internships for something like tech related that you would like to do. I think that can help out a lot. Again, AI is coming big. That's something that you can learn about. And you don't have to do all the like super like technical stuff with that. Like there's a lot of stuff within tech that's more, they just need more people who can like write well or can be a personable person pretty much. Because they can teach you everything there. And you don't have to be a freaking rocket scientist to learn this stuff. But a lot of people probably look at some of the tech stuff as being super technical and just getting too scared of it. I think a lot of you people, if you're watching this video right here, I think you have the capacity to learn a lot in tech. Now, it may take you longer than some other people, but if you put in that time and that effort, you can really get there. You can really learn a lot. I've learned a lot during this journey before I was able to get into cybersecurity, and I'm technical. It's just like when something is new to you, it's easy to want to run away from it, but sometimes you really gotta go ahead and think about your future. Like, hey, it's gonna be tough this next few months, next year, next 2 years, like 3 years. But if I can keep on this grind with this, learn this skill, learn these skills, I can become wealthy or wealthier than I am now. And at least afford a house, at least be able to afford stuff for my kids, at least be able to afford all this stuff, and at least not be totally within this like little rat race that I'm currently in. The time is going to happen regardless. Like 3 years from now is going to happen regardless. So if you're going to study partially that 3 years, become more successful, or you should waste that extra 3 years because that's going to happen regardless. Time is going to happen regardless. So you might as well learn and improve yourself within that time period. Let's go ahead and play this next one here. 5 things I've given up at the cost of living increases. Okay, I'm intrigued to see what she's going to decrease. Probably maybe like different food outings. I can see maybe cable. There's some like the big stuff I'm kind of seeing right now. Maybe some type of subscriptions like that. Maybe even Uber Eats and stuff like that too. But let's go ahead and see.
Part 2 of things I've given up as the cost of living continues to increase. If you haven't seen part 1, go back on my page and watch that video. First things first is cable. I don't understand how cable bills got up to like $200, but that's insanity. Pick 1 or 2 streaming services that you like, whether it be Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, whichever, and your bill's going to be less than $50. I literally don't use cable. A lot of cable services are now partnered with streaming services. So like Hulu has like Hulu Plus where you can watch like a live TV and stuff. Get you one of those and you're set. The second thing that I've actually given up is pedicures. And I know people in my comments from my last video were like, oh my God, I could never get at pedicures. I could never get at this. And the thing is like, you can do it at home. Like I will give myself my own pedicure and give myself a foot mask or whatever. The smart thing that you can also do, you can go to a nail salon and you can just ask to get your toes painted. It's like so cheap. It's like $20 or something, maybe even less, depending on where you live. Last thing that I've actually had to give up was going out for drinks. I mentioned this in my last video. And I was talking about how like cocktails were like $17 now. Like, what is up with these prices? Going out for drinks is just not worth it. You're spending $17 to not even feel a buzz. If I'm going to drink, I'm going to drink. It's just not worth it. Let me know what you've given up in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts.
Okay, cool. Interesting. I got some of those right about the cable, but yeah, that's one big thing. Like, yeah, cable really is about what, 200. I think that is mainly towards like more of the basic. Like, I guess it depends on what cable plan you're in, but I've seen a lot of different ones that if you can really be paying 250 plus if you're trying to get certain channels. But if you get, I guess maybe more basic cable, again, yeah, $200 a month. It is crazy on that when you could pay a whole lot less for the streaming sites. You can use YouTube really for free. You can use YouTube for free. You can watch a lot of different videos, movies, etc. for free through YouTube. She talked about, you can get 1 or 2 subscription accounts. Yeah. And you can even, work with other people, like maybe your family, your friend. Wait, mainly family. I don't really trust friends with that stuff, but mainly like family. And each family could have like a subscription. You could have Disney Plus. They could have Hulu. They can have Netflix. And you all can, should share the account and you're able to watch all 3 and you're only paying for one service. And you could pay the yearly fee if possible and save a whole lot of more money there. She also talked about the pedicures and like getting your nails done and stuff like that. And yeah, that's stuff you can do at the house. You can paint your own nails at the house. You can do other stuff at the house. And like, that's funny. Like a lot of people used to paint their own nails. Like I remember girls painting their own nails. I remember just having stuff to paint their own nails. So I'm not exactly sure what year it shifted, but it looks like, I don't know, maybe with social media becoming more prominent and everybody is online saying they're super rich, I got money, I got this. It kind of peer pressured people to only, spend money instead of actually being able to do it themselves at their home. So yeah, if you're struggling, but you're able to get your nails done and get XYZ done, that can save you some money right there for sure. And not only with just like nails and stuff like that, but like other stuff that you can do at the house, for your body or whatnot. If you're able to do it, to yourself or for yourself, or maybe it's something you've been doing maybe since you were a kid or younger, and now you stop, hey, this might be a great time for you to go ahead and get back to it, at least until, you get your money and everything right. Then, yeah, you can go ahead and splurge again. But yeah, there are a lot of different ways you can save money each month. But again, my biggest thing on here is not necessarily to like penny pinch everything in your life. It's more so that, hey, you got a certain life you want to live. Okay, you want to live that life? Okay, don't complain. Stop complaining. Start grinding. Start putting in that work. Start putting in that effort towards some type of career that's high paying, goal that's high paying, mainly career. And yeah, work towards that. So then you can make that money and then you can still splurge and have fun. And you're not struggling. That's what I like to see. But let's go ahead and play this next one right here. This one's talking about I was living comfortably on $35K a year in 2019. Yeah. Again, this is another clear indication that everything hasn't risen an insane amount. Because yeah, I remember making 30K plus or less than 30K and was still able to survive. I can't see that happening right now. I can survive, but I can't see that happening like in my current place and my current level. Now I would have to downgrade, but let's go ahead and see what she's talking about.
I found screenshots of what I was paying for rent in 2019 in my first apartment and what I was taking home from work. I knew this information, but just looking at it is so fucking unreal. Rent was $995 a month. And for context, if you know the area, I lived in Sandy Springs, Georgia, which is known for being like a really nice area. I was like 20 years old. I think I had just turned 20. I'm not gonna lie, I was standing on big business. Like I felt like I was doing something. $11.27 a month by myself? Guys, I was making $16.83 an hour. And I could afford to live by myself. I mean, I wasn't living like a queen, but I could pay all my bills and eat out sometimes. These are my current utilities. Usually my rent is around $16.80 a month. Rent has gone up $500 a month. To be fair, I do make more than double than I was making before, but this is what lifestyle creep looks like. The cost of living goes up every time people make a little bit more money. I could punch somebody right now.
All right, this one we're not gonna be talking about it too long, but she talked about lifestyle creep, and it's not even necessarily that. Like that rent she was paying, that 1,100, she's paying $500 more. 1,500 is very normal in a lot of places. Yeah, is up there. And again, I don't know how many rooms, but I'm assuming for that amount of rooms, that is unfortunately not too out of the wild right now. Like if I see rent for like $1,000, I'm like, hey, that's a good deal. But like freaking 10 years ago, seeing that price is like, I mean, it can be good depending on the area, but it may not be like the best thing in the world. But yeah, if you're paying $1,000, like, oh wow, you got a deal right now, or you living in like a lower, impoverished area, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just crazy, it's like just to see that like a $500 increase from 2019 to now. It's just little things like that. And like, this is one thing. Now, picture of everything else is increasing by, 50%, 40%, 30%. That's going to affect your wallets a lot. One thing, it'll affect you, of course. But when those all start adding up together, that's when you really start feeling it. You might not see it. That's the thing. If everything increases slowly by a little bit, you may not see it, but you obviously feel it. You're like, wait a minute, I just have more money in my wallet. I just have more money in my bank account right now. What's going on? That's another reason why you have to keep improving right now. Because like life, it never stays stagnant. Either you're increasing or you're decreasing, because money, like a dollar right now is going to be less money, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. So if you just keep that $1 and don't do anything, it's going to lose its value. So you got to continually keep improving and keep trying to increase yourself, because you're not going to be able to stay stagnant, just for the fact of inflation and other things of that nature constantly increasing. And let's go and play this last video here.
Why did my grocery bill go up $150 and I'm buying the same shit? That's so. What happens when the price of bread becomes $25 and niggas start killing each other over ham sandwiches? That's where we going. That's where we are.
Right. Yeah, we'll end there right now. You guys think we're in that, I guess, point right now that people are killing each other for food right now? Are you guys seeing that, or are you guys not seeing that? Do you think we'll be seeing that next year? 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now? I'm definitely sure to hear you guys' thoughts on that. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.